Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at Cartographers, the Collector's Edition, published by Thunderworks Games. Now this is a box that's designed to combine the original Cartographers with the new standalone Heroes box, all into one box. This also includes all expansion content, fully sleeved. The one thing it does not include is the playmat, so that's going to be stored separately. We have it in a monster protector's tube here, and that's going to hold your playmat. You can just put it side by side when you're storing your game. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the box. Now, first thing, we lift off that lid, and you're going to notice that we have two distinct sections here. We got a left and a right side. Let's take a look at the right side first. So first off, you'll notice that we have lots of these pads, and these are going to contain all of your large sheets for the different maps from all of the expansions, as well as Cartographers, base game, and the Heroes. And then we have lots of laminated sheets. So we don't feel bad when we actually use these because we know that we have some backups here. So we have 10 for each of the colors, and even laminated, they're all going to fit into this right side here. And those are all going to go on that bottom. Now, underneath all of those laminated sheets, we're going to have all of your colored pencils. So these are the Cartographers brand pencils. So they do fit nicely into this pre-made insert here. And then we also have the standard pencils that come with the Cartographers game. And they're just going to sit in the dish on this right side here. Now that being said, you'll notice that we have some more colored pencils on this left side here. And that's because I think that these colored pencils are a little small in my opinion. So I like having some larger ones here. Most people don't mind, so we do have these, but I like having the larger pencils up here for easy access. So on that left side here, we're going to have some sets of colored pencils, the large versions. In addition, we have a standard pencil because once again, I feel like these are a little short for my taste and I do prefer the standard mechanical pencil. So I have one of those in there as well. Continuing on this left side, we have the rulebooks for Cartographers, all of the expansion content here, as well as the Heroes standalone rulebook. So that's all going to be here on that left side. You can go ahead and throw away the catalog as well as the backs for these because when you get the collector's edition, you'll have this front panel that will actually have the instructions and then one that's kind of like just the back kind of showing the product description. You can go ahead and toss those away. So that's all of the rule books for the different game modes. The last piece on this left side is the frill pad. This is going to have all of your remaining sheets for the frill expansion. So honestly, just one, whatever you're playing currently, is going to go on the left here to make room for those laminated sheets on the right. Now underneath that, we're going to have two wells that are going to contain the cards. I'll leave a link in the description below for the sleeve that I use for these cards, but I'll show you how I divide them. So in this bottom well here, we have all of your objective cards. You're going to be shuffling these up every game because they're going to be randomized for the different objectives. You just got to make sure that you have one of each color. So basically, you're just going to shuffle them all together until you find one of each type, and you'll randomly mill them off the top of the deck. So that's all of those objective cards. Then you're going to have the mini expansion, because this is totally optional. You only need one of these reference sheets, so we kept expansion 2. It's very straightforward. It really is just the same card 2 times, but this is going to contain all of your different skills. Underneath that, you're going to have your different cards here for the decrees, for your point scorings. The reason that we have them on the bottom here is because the mat itself is actually going to have them printed on there, so you don't even need to take those out. And underneath that, we have all of our duplicate cards. So we have the skills expansion here, as well as the new seasons. Or sorry, these are the old seasons. There is one change. The summer season has 1 pip less. So this is actually a 7 when playing with heroes because you're going to get extra spaces with those heroes, potentially. So that's one quick change. So if you're playing with the hero stuff, make sure to switch out these season cards. And lastly, we just have some more duplicate decree cards because once again, you're going to have an additional copies because of the 2 standalone games. So that's all in this bottom well. On this top well, we're going to have a silica gel packet for freshness, and then underneath that, we're going to have all of our cards that we're going to use for our adventuring deck. So this top one is all of the adventure cards from the Heroes expansion, so you do want to keep these separate because you will not mix and match these. So that's one of these sets of cards, and underneath that, we're going to have the heroes themselves, so you'll put those there. So that's if you're playing with the hero set, you'll use those. Underneath here, you have all of your minions, and you'll actually go ahead and shuffle all of these from the base game and the new expansion. Now, the new expansion is really cool. It has special abilities for all of these characters, so they do additional things instead of just taking up space. So I really, really like these new villains. Underneath that, you'll have your season cards you're actively using. Like I said, you're going to have 1 less in summer if you're playing with heroes. And then you'll have the second set of location cards and these are specifically from the base game. And underneath that, you'll have finally, the additional objectives for the extra expansions. So you'll be using these if you're playing with the Undercity, these if you're playing with a Frill, and lastly, these if you're playing with the Volcano expansion. These are actually going to get shuffled into the deck. So that's all of the cards in the wells. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and pack it up. So first off, we take all of our expansion cards and we put them in that top well. Up next, we're going to take all of the adventure cards from the original game and then put the season cards on top of that. On top of that, we're going to take all of the villain cards, all of the hero cards, and then the exploration cards from the Heroes set, and put those like so. And then our silica gel packet on top of that. We'll then take our extra cards, our decree cards, our skill cards, and put those all in the bottom well here. And then all of our objective cards will be next. We'll just stack those on top. We'll then take one of our pads and place it on top of those cards, as well as all of our rule books, our colored pencils, our regular pencil, mechanical pencil. We'll replace any of the colored pencils and pencils that we took, and then place all of our laminated copies on top here. Then we'll go ahead and take the remaining pads of papers here for all your map making goodness. And that is organizing cartographers. If you have any questions about what you saw here, please let me know down in the comments below. Did you get this collector's edition? How do you organize your copy? I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you so much for watching. SideGame Strong.